What brought me here, I had an episode, to put it mildly. I had lost the plot. I had completely lost touch with reality, and I had gone through separation. My husband, he took the children, and he was battling his own demons at the time, but I just couldn't cope with anything. I couldn't cope with getting up in the morning, getting washed, or feeding myself. So they ended up staying with my parents. I lost 10 years of my life, 10 years with my children, until they got the meds sorted out. It was a gradual coming back to reality where you're not thinking of taking the first bus out of here, and you're not running off to New York, and you're not thinking of grabbing the next flight to Dubai, and, which I had done, I just took off, and my passport, and took off, and I spent 3-4 days walking around New York with no plan, no nothing, just walking around New York, and it just completely like a homeless person, I was a bag lady. So it was only when, through having heard a couple of people that had got off one of the buses and they had Northern Irish accents, and then I suddenly realised that, God, I am from Northern Ireland. And then I remembered, oh Christ, I've got children. What am I doing here? I managed to get a flight home, so I did, because I'd bought an open-ended ticket. So it wasn't for the fact that I'd bought an open-ended ticket, I'd have been stuck in New York.
I have a whole load of barriers to get past. I tell my family about this, my illness. It's a big barrier to get past. Some of my family, wife and kids, already give me a hard time because of the mental breakdown. So I'm scared of what the rest of my family may say or do. My kin are very important to me. I love them all. It's going to be a rough ride because my own kids already give me a rough ride, which really pisses me off, but because I love them dearly. I feel like I'm living a lie. I love my brothers. I probably shouldn't say that, but I do. I'm so scared of telling them about this. Last week I was given the responsibility of looking after my niece and nephew on my own. my niece says to me, Uncle, am I in the right family? I asked, why? And said, because I'm very silly. I said, well, you're in the right family because I'm silly too. And just said, I know. I love my family. I love taking care of my kids. I'm capable of taking care of them and talking all that silly talk. That's what kids do. They love the silly talk, and I do it really well too. I'm on their level. I wouldn't hurt anyone, not even a fly. Well, maybe a fly, but it wouldn't hurt a person. You get such a great feeling from raising and being around kids. It's the best feeling in the world. You feel trusted and in control.
I've been here for 6 years. I'd been referred here by my CPN. I'd been suffering from a lot of depression for a long while, and I was in a really bad place. This place kind of saved my life. It helped me out. It kind of gave me a timetable of things to do. I always suffered from bouts of depression, but it was my separation from the father of my kids and raising those kids by myself, that was the major trigger.
I'm mental when it comes to anything to do with cars and motorbikes. What my wife will say to me is that I got my illness for a reason, to keep me alive. If I hadn't have got the illness, I'd still be on the motorbikes, and I'd be dead. Attempted suicide. I tried to do myself in. I don't honestly know why, to tell you the truth. My head went, you know? You just no longer wanted to live. I used to walk past where they were putting a new road in. You know the way they put the first big stones in, the big ones? Well, I put one in each pocket. I walked away. I went to a pier and I set them underneath it. I waited until I'd gathered enough of them. And then one day, after work, I walked to the pier. I put them all in my pockets and had my coat tied with all the stones in it, and I jumped into the water. I sunk down until I was sitting. I was actually sitting in the water, and when I was looking up, I saw my wife, her twin sister, and my wee nephew. They were there, standing, looking down into a hole, which obviously was my grave, and they were crying, and it just hit me. I pulled the rope, and the stones fell out, and then I jumped and grabbed the pier and got out, and took all the stones out of my pockets. Then I was walking back to work, soaking wet.
Alcohol is what brought me here. I drank heavily for years and became an alcoholic. Alcohol took me to the gates of heaven. I was in and out of hospitals and institutions. I got completely lost in it. I needed alcohol to cope day in and day out, and that messed with my mental health. And I have serious memory and short-term memory issues. At home, to help me cope, I locked myself in the room with my guitar and lift myself out of a bad place.
I was interested in gardening, so I managed to get a referral and I managed to get in here. Day one, it was, I shouldn't be here. I've just made the biggest mistake of my life. I would be better off at home, stuck in front of the TV, even though I wasn't even watching TV. I was sitting in the armchair and I was curled up, and I would be sitting there for 8 hours, and I wouldn't put on the radio either. I would get freaked out by the noises of people walking past the window. The second week I went back and there was a bit more interaction with staff, and I was taken aback because they'd remembered my name, and you know, it's... whoa.
And here, God, I hated it at first. You know, but once I started doing things, I realised that there was courses that I could do, something, and I was being given an opportunity. I settled in.
Everyone knows what it's like in here. They know what you mean when you're having a really bad day. Or maybe over anxious. Or overthinking about things. It's really good to be in the company of others who know what it's like. With all of the goodwill in the world, people who haven't been in this situation just don't know. Like we do. We all have different things that we deal with in here, but depression is the one thing we all... We know what it's like. And we help each other. We all still have days where we just say, no, I'm just not going to do this today. I don't want to. But I just push myself to stick to my timetable, so to speak, because it's good for me to have the structure.
My family all know, but it's still hard to deal with. They know about the breakdown, the electric shock treatment, and the medication. The worst thing is when some have not seen you in a while, and they come up and say, "Are you okay? Are you feeling okay?" Instead of just saying hello. Weddings are the worst. People gather around you like flies. They'll buy you a drink and then say, "Should you be drinking when you're on medication?" I don't actually tell anyone what I do here or what happens here. I just tell them that I'm coming to work.
My family know, but I don't talk about it to anyone else because of the stigma. People think you'll crack up or burn their house down, or that you're a lunatic. You know? I just tell people that I'm coming here to do a wee photography course or a gardening course, which is true. But there's more to this place than that.
You know, once I'm in here, once I'm through those gates, I feel safe. And I forget about the world out there. I can trust the people in here. This is like a big brother house here. We're all eating out of the same bowl. If I'd been sent here sooner than I was, then I'd be in better health mentally today. In the past, I'd be brought into institutions, sorted out and then tossed back out of the street again. They would dope you up, they would keep you quiet and then kick you out again. It's just a lockup. That's all they would do. Now here, you have someone to talk to and more communication.
The big thing is that I'm not 2 steps away from being sectioned and being put back inside. You know what? If I can work on keeping myself outside and keeping myself sort of well enough so that I don't get sectioned again, then that's all I can hope for. Now, my son, he's in university and he's doing science. And my daughter, she has had her second child, so she has a wee boy. It's been difficult at times because she still has, still has levels of anger over what happened. But over the last year, at least we're talking and texting and we're getting on to some level of communication with each other.
I never really had a proper education. Now I'm doing courses and learning to spell, doing a camera course, even though I can't spell camera. I'm learning how to use a camera and I can't spell camera.
Hopefully in 5 years, I see myself being totally cured. At the minute, the medication I'm on seems to be working. I'm reducing it myself.
Most of us have worked all our lives, and when we got ill, well, that all stopped. I did nothing for years. I was in and out of these institutions. In here, we work. Like, we aren't told to do things. We're asked, do you want to do it? You're part of something again. And I feel a sense of purpose. And we have such a great laugh too.
In the future, I'd like to help someone else. But I would then be worried that it might start affecting my own health. But I think it would be good for me and others.